So what is Kubernetes? Why Kubernetes? So Kubernetes is a container clusterization tool, or fine tune, it is a orchestration tool. What is Kubernetes? Manage containerized applications. Okay, so many answers are there. What is Kubernetes? Why Kubernetes? So Kubernetes, either you mention orchestration tool, or it is a clusterization of container. Container clusterization. What is the meaning of clusterization? See, container, when you start any container, container is not a stable options. It's not a stable objects. After some times it is going to down. So Kubernetes is going to check and maintain it. That is auto healing. Any container is going to down. Before down, Kubernetes is going to start the same alternate container. And high availability. Container also in scaling mode, auto scaling mode, high availability. These are possible through Kubernetes, and so many advantages are there. Now, so it is container clusterization. Now Kubernetes architecture. Kubernetes architecture, if you move to in this simplified Kubernetes architecture, so everything is there, total that is details documentation is there. This is Kubernetes architecture. This is master node, and these are all worker node, more or less like Ansible architecture. Ansible also one master node and so many node. Node completely different. It's maybe anything is running. Ansible is going to connect through SSH. But Kubernetes run on master node also, on worker node also. Say nowadays maximum applications running on Kubernetes because number of facilities are there. Netflix, if you go through Netflix, a movie or anything, so they are also going to use Kubernetes, 3 master and 5000 around worker. So what is this Kubernetes? We have to understand. First option is check it here, master node, and these are all worker node. What are the component in master node? 4 major component is there. API server, etcd, that is the database, controller, scheduler. And any worker node, kubelet, and Docker runtime, network proxy, other DNS options, and number of pods. What is pods? Pods, the smallest unit of Kubernetes. Inside of the pod, container is available. That is pod, nothing but a wrappering of container. Container wrapped by something, same as toffee, any chocolate. It is wrapped by some packet. So here also pod means one container wrapped. Okay. Now inside of pod container is there, and inside of container my application is running. Now suddenly any pod is going to down. Kubernetes is going to start the another same type of pod before down that pod. So how it is possible? Whenever any pod is going to down, kubelet is going to inform to master node. Whenever any application is going to deploy by the developer also going to connect to this API server. Whenever you are going to connect as the administrator of Kubernetes from any third machine, not from here, it's a different machine. So you are going to access also API server. So always we are going to connect this API server either internally from worker node to API server, developer to API server, and administrator to API server. But one normal user, that is end users, suppose in Netflix you are going to observe one movie, so you are as a end users, you are going to connect directly your movie, that is which is running in a pod. And how do you are going to connect? Network proxy purpose, using this network proxy or kube proxy. With the help of this, end users is going to connect. So API server through developer, administrator and kubelet from worker node. Why? Suppose one pod is down, kubelet is informed to API server, in this node this pod is down. Okay, that information API server receive it and talk to controller, because controller is going to control everything. So API server inform to controller, controller responds to API server, please confirm it from etcd, because etcd is the database where total cluster information is available. Okay, how many node, per node how many pod, what is the status. Fine. So etcd is going to check it. Okay, in this node 10 pods should be run, right now 9 pods are running and this pod is down, this information is correct. So etcd is returned to API, yes, this information it is correct, that is confirmed by etcd. Again API server informed to controller, I talk to etcd and etcd response it is yes. So controller again instruct to API server, please talk to scheduler. API server informed to scheduler and scheduler is going to create that particular pod in worker node. So check it, controller to scheduler or controller to etcd or etcd to scheduler or controller, they are not going to talk to each other. Always they are going to contact API server. Okay, so everything is through API server. Fine. So this is the more or less architecture of the Kubernetes environment. Kubernetes cluster, master node, worker node, and 4 major component of master node and number of components of worker node also. Now if I am going to install this master node, that is prepare this master node, I have to install few softwares. See, API, scheduler, controller, etcd, all informations are there, details informations are there, and basic components of worker node, kubelet, kube proxy, container, runtime and the pod. Okay, so please if you go through this, it is going to clear to you. Now if I am going to search Kubernetes installation and all, so you must go to this kubernetes.io. Okay, kubernetes.io, because exam time also, if you go for the exam, Kubernetes exam, you can open this site, you can copy paste anything from here, you cannot open any other site. Install tool, see what is Minikube. Minikube also Kubernetes cluster related, that is Kubernetes cluster complete, but it is basically used a single node and for development and testing purpose. You may go through kind also, same kind, Minikube, these are development purpose, testing purpose, but production purpose kubeadm. Okay, production purpose kubeadm. Other than kubeadm, 2 more softwares are required, kubelet and kubectl. So let's see if we are interested to install this. This is the current version 1.32, and before that 1.31, 30, 29, 28. These are different time is there. After that time it is going to off. So 1.29 up to 26, that is 2026, I think July or June is last date. So we can install this any version. So we are going to install 29 or 30, and then we try to upgrade it to next version. So installation, upgradation both going to complete. Now if I am going to install any version, what is the prerequisites? A Linux host, then 2 GB or more RAM, 2 CPU minimum, and public or private network, that is each and every node they can connect. Other few more requirements are there, that is swap should be disable. In your Linux, swap should be disable. So Linux, list of this kernel, it is going to show where it is possible. Swap configuration, we have to disable swap. Okay, install, we have to install container runtime, that is Docker actually. For Linux, this is the options. From here you can install the container runtime. Then we have to install kubeadm, kubelet and kubectl. So what is the purpose of kubeadm? It is a bootstrap, that is it is going to create the cluster and maintain the cluster. Kubelet, this is a must component of all the nodes and worker node to connectivity to master node through this kubelet. Components that run on all the machines in your cluster and does things like starting pod and container. So it is going to take care of the worker node. kubectl, it is a command line tool. If you as a administrator, when we are going to talk to cluster, we are using kubectl commands. Okay, so if you go through, you can understand how it is going to install. One by one they are going to provide the commands and others, but I am going to provide you one shell script. You just run the shell script and complete it. So right now I am going to install this Minikube, and tomorrow I am going to install using kubeadm, that is multi-node, one master, two worker. Today just simply I am going to install Minikube, and on Minikube I am going to deploy and I am going to access that particular application. Okay, so for that purpose I already installed one machine. And I just upgrade it, that is update complete. Install and update complete. So I am going to install Minikube here, and then I will show you how to access it, how to check one by one everything. So install minikube on CentOS mini sh. Yes, this one. This is a shell script. Here I am going to, all the commands are there: update, install, one by one EPL release, then install this software, then start it, create one user, because I am going to start from root, but minikube and this is going to continue as a normal user. I create one user, then this library options, install this minikube Linux, this from this, and then curl through kubectl, kubectl permissions, version, okay, one by one everything, and then docker is required, docker version, we install it, then user mode, I add this user to docker group and switch to this user. So just copy it, and here vi m.sh, any name .sh, press I and paste it, save it, sh m.sh, start your minikube. So one by one command is going to execute, installation automatically going to execute. So within this, one options may be going to show you some error, because that is for CentOS purpose. In CentOS by default one software is there, we are going to remove that. Otherwise everything is okay, no issue. Check it, what happened. Once minikube installation over, this is the errors, but no issue, this is only for CentOS. Here it is not required, it is going to continue. You may go through the documentation also, minikube installation, so it is going to show total documentation. Check it, completed, and it is as a normal user, dollar. I started from hash, now it is in dollar. Now we have to start the minikube using the driver docker. By default it is going to use docker. So it is going to install Kubernetes 1.32.0. showing some error. Let's see. Kubelet is stopped, misconfigure. kubectl is pointing to state minikube VM. To fix the error, run minikube update context. One option only is there, power off and power on. I'm going to send you one successful video. I think 2 days before 7:30, one minikube installation over. Still it is stopped. If you face this type of problem, stop it. Sometimes it is due to DNS issues. Change it to bridge mode and power off, power on, check it.
Sir, on EC2, it will be different command.
No, EC2 also same command, but minimum 4 GB RAM and 2 CPU is required. On T2 micro it is not possible.
Uh,
You have to use higher machine, that is Kubernetes purpose.
but command will be same.
Command same. And minikube is not so important, it is only for development purpose.
Then what is important, sir, in place of mini-queue?
Kubernetes is there, normal Kubernetes kube. Tomorrow I will show that enterprise version.
QCP. Okay.
Now minikube is showing control plane. This is control plane. Control plane means this is master machine, and it is running. Kubelet also running, API server also running, and kubeconfig, that is the configuration file of Kubernetes, that is configured. That means it is running. Basically, it is a DNS problem. Due to that, it is not going to install. When I change NAT to, maybe in my machine NAT some issues, VMware, so NAT to host related, that is bridge options, then automatically it will continue. So you also, when you continue this in your local machine, you please install one Rocky Linux or CentOS 9 and minimum 2 processor and 4 GB RAM. Then try it, and network, bridge network, best options. Okay, minikube status, it is showing that minikube is running. Now few other commands are there. Now I am going to deploy, and I am going to show you how to deploy it. So tomorrow we are going to continue Kubernetes worker node, Kubernetes master node. MWW means master, worker, worker. One master, two worker. Okay. So now very basic command and first deployment. That is how to deploy your application on pod. So from here you can use kubectl. Kubectl is the command line one tool if you want to contact your cluster. So kubectl get node, all the node information, spelling mistake, kubectl, it is going to show you all the node information. In our case right now one node is there, node name is minikube, and status is ready, and this is not worker node, this is control plane, that is your master node, and age is 4 minutes 47 seconds only, version is 1.32.0. This is the information of this Kubernetes node. Tomorrow when you are going to check the node, it is going to show one master, two worker, three nodes are there. Now one by one you try to complete this portion. I show you node. Now describe node and your node information. My node information is minikube node name. So Kubernetes describe node. If I mention only describe node, what happen? It is going to describe because it is only single node is there. But when we are using enterprise version, there we have to mention the complete command, that is node and then node name. Which node? It is going to show all the information of this node. How many services are running, what is the status, all informations. Describe command is going to show you. This is my command. It is showing this is minikube, this is as a control plane, and so many things are there. Now kubectl get pod, if I use up to this kubectl get pod, all the pod informations, but it is showing that there was no pod in default namespace. So if I use kubectl get ns namespace, it is just like VPC type. It is isolate inside of Kubernetes cluster. Inside of Kubernetes cluster, the Kubernetes metadata, the Kubernetes inside of architecture we check na 4 components are there. That 4 components and other few other components which is related to Kubernetes, that is Kubernetes metadata, which is available in kube system. And when we are going to create any pod, we are going to create by default in default namespace. So these are just like VPC, different VPC type. Okay, isolation. So right now it is showing 1, 2, 3, 4. This 4 namespaces is there. If I want to check all the pods inside of this, you can mention in different command. Get pod minus a. A means all. That is all the pods from defaults, all this namespace. So it is going to show these are the namespace are running one by one. One is desired and one is running. So 1 by 1 means everything is okay. If it is 0 by 1, that is desired 1, but running is 0, that means some problem is there. So check it. Core DNS is running, etcd is running, API server, controller, scheduler, and other some proxy server and others. So this is metadata of Kubernetes or core component of the Kubernetes. You can check the same component using -n kube system. -n means namespace. So show me all the pod from this namespace. From this namespace, kube system. It is going to show you the same. Okay, same output. That is all the pod from kube system. Here one extra column is there, namespace showing kube system. A means all. If in default, under default namespace also 1 or 2 pod, it is going to show namespace default and details of the pod. But here in this command, only going to show the pod which is running inside of kube system. This command we are going to execute on tomorrow, that is in normal enterprise version. Now I want to check any pod is there. Pod means inside of pod container is there, and inside of container applications are running. So let me check any pod is there. It is by default going to show you namespace default. So it is showing there was no pod, nothing in default namespace. So now I am going to apply my application and I want to access it. This is means service. What is service? When I deploy my applications inside of pod, now pod is running. How to access the application? So we are not going to use this cluster IP. We are going to use node port. Okay, node port means particular one IP colon some port number, colon some port number. So try to understand it. First deployment, say I am using nginx dep.yaml one file and I mention this one. What is this? This is one YAML code. Inside of this I mention kind deployment. Deployment, it is going to create the container. So in future we are try to understand the all the segments. One segment is metadata under this portion. One segment is specification under specification. This replicas means how many pod is going to create. We will discuss all the options, selector, template. What is this? Spec, that is your contain image details. So here mentioning image is nginx and port number is 80. So after writing this deployment, we have to run this kubectl apply -f, that is file, my file name. So when I execute it, my deployment is going to run, going to execute. We will check deployment and we will check the pod. Get deployment, get pod. Now, what is our target? Next target is service. Why service? Because the application, nginx application which is running inside of this pod, I want to access it. Access purpose, we are going to create another one and this time kind is service. So I am going to send you one document, all the kinds, list of kinds which is available in Kubernetes. And here I am going to use what type of service? Node port. And what is the port? 30088. Through HTTP I am going to access it. So once I write this code, now I have to run it. Once it is going to run, one service is there. You can check kubectl get sbc. Now I want to access my application. So Minikube service node port URL, it is going to show you the URL. This is one particular IP, Minikube cluster IP, and then port number. Then we will access our application. And this port number range is 30,000 to 32,767. Within this you can utilize this port number. So let's see deployment and others. This is our first deployment. So I am going to create one file. And copy this and paste it, save it, and command is kubectl apply -f my file name nginx dep.yaml. Run it. It is showing that deployment nginx is created. So how to check? Kubectl get deployment. It will show one deployment name is nginx, just 17 seconds before it is created and up to date, ready one by one. So if I check kubectl get pod, it is going to show that this is the name of the container. Actually it is running, and get pod minus o white. This is another command. Details information of the pod. Already here it is going to show the pod details. That is name, ready, status, restarted, age. Here it is name, ready, status, restarted, age, then IP, node, in which node it is running. Now we have only one node, so it is running on Minikube. But tomorrow this command is important, because tomorrow when you create one master and two workers, where it is running, in which worker, okay, and other few other information. This is just not Minikube, so one node, so limited options are there. So it is clear that our deployment and one pod is running. Inside of pod, my Nginx container is running, because I use image, default image Nginx. Now what is my target? I am going to create one service. So service document code. Now we have to run it. Same command, kubectl apply -f nginx service svc.yaml. It is created. How to check? Kubectl get svc. So it will show nginx node port is running, cluster IP, and this is the port number 30088. Just 8 seconds is edge. So service also running. Now once your service is running, we want to access our application. So this is Minikube service node port URL. Just execute this command. Okay, our service name is maybe different. It is not node port. Get svc. Service name is nginx. So we have to use so it will show this is your URL. Okay, copy it. Activities, browser, open the browser. Now here you just put your address, press enter. So it is going to show Nginx default homepage. Fine. This is the way installation of Minikube. Then check it. Once everything is okay, Minikube is running, we just check the node. After that, first time we are going to few commands we used, and then we are going to deploy our application using image nginx. If I use image my Python program, and all these names and others we have to change, okay, then automatically what happen, my Python is going to apply, that is Python applications. Okay, now I am going to show you one more thing. Here if I check Nginx dep and Nginx svc. Dep means deployment, svc service. So I'm just going to open Nginx dep, and inside of this replica, I'm going to use 3 replica right now. 3 replica means 3 pod is going to start. Okay, again I am going to use kubectl apply -f nginx deploy.yaml. And now I'm going to check kubectl get deployment. It is showing 3 because just now I change my replica should be 3, and now check it, kubectl get pod. How many pods are running? One pod is 6 minutes 26 seconds, that is the first pod, and then 2 more pod is started which is running less 33 seconds. So 3 pods are running. Okay, when you are try to access, it is going to respond from any pod. Fine, that is going to clear tomorrow when we are using multiple worker node. Okay, this is your infrastructure, k master, k worker, k worker. It is 1, it is 2. So tomorrow I will show this portion. So today up to this try to clear, that is installation of Minikube, and then checking all the command list is there. These are the basic level command. Node, your node name. Okay, Minikube purpose node name is not required because only one node it is going to show you. If you want to check all the pods, the system related pod, that is controller, scheduler, etcd, API, DNS, then either -a means from all the namespace, or specifically you can mention the namespace. Then tomorrow I will show you this, what is the meaning of this taint and others, and void also going to clear tomorrow when master and worker node is there. But today get deployment, get pod, get SBC, okay, and then access it. So I'm sending this video plus this one, this command line, plus this 2 script. Okay, that is one script is this one, that is Minikube installation script. You just run it, and another script is, once it is over, then you have to execute Minikube start driver docker and Minikube check the status. If it is showing everything is okay, then once it is okay, after that deployment. After deployment, this Minikube service, this one. Okay, then on browser check it. Fine. So please try to complete this up to this, because tomorrow I am going to show you enterprise version. Because see, first we are going to use Minikube or kind or different options are there, rancher. Okay, these are all Kubernetes development or test environment. But enterprise version using kubeadm, kubelet, kubectl, these 3 software, this is enterprise version. And next one is, we are going to continue using kops. Kops is a tool developed by AWS. Using this kops, we can create the Kubernetes cluster in AWS. Kubernetes installation is lengthy. So many steps are there. Okay, using kubeadm, kubelet, so many steps are there. Kops is going to minimize it. Just 2 commands through kops, it is going to create the kubeadm through cluster. So kops is a tool. Another one is EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service. It is one service provided by AWS, same as EC2, RDS, VPC. So EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service. This is completely developed by AWS. Like Aurora, developed by AWS. Same. So what is the difference between COPS and EKS? COPS is a tool provided by AWS. With the help of COPS, we are going to create the Kubernetes cluster in AWS, in on-premises, in Azure, in Google, anywhere. So COPS is a tool. It will help us to create the Kubernetes cluster using kubeadm, kubelet, kubectl. But EKS, it is completely different. EKS is a service. AWS provide this service. It is just like EC2, RDS, VPC, S3. It is also one more service. Through EKS, you can create Kubernetes cluster in AWS. So many facilities are there. So many facilities, advantages there. Because when you create RDS, by default, so many things are automated. If you install any database on EC2, you have to maintain everything manually. But if it is in RDS, around 80% is automated. EKS also same. If you go through EKS, then everything is automated. Other than this, one more is there, OpenShift. OpenShift same as Kubernetes cluster, which is provided by Red Hat. Nowadays, so many companies they are using OpenShift also. So at the end of this course, I will show OpenShift, but before that we have to go through this 4 different way, and deployment, service, access, then in depth of the Kubernetes. So tomorrow, this one, okay, enterprise version, and then Saturday, Sunday maybe COPS and EKS and deployment also. COPS and EKS purpose, or if you are going to continue your normal way kubeadm this one, then in AWS, then you have to choose top level machines, that is medium or large, this type of machines, and you have to choose CentOS or Rocky or Red Hat. Okay, Amazon Linux little bit different. Fine. So no more, I am going to send you all these documentations including the videos just after 11. Now one more class is there. After that class I am going to send you this video and others. Fine. Please concentrate on this and please complete your